Let's get it over with. Before I get into the full recap breakdown of it, let's take a look at Kid Cudi's reaction to after he was done testifying, when he actually left the stand. Let's see what he talking about.
Hey guys, so I just want to say, man, I've been seeing all the love and support, and I just want to say thank you so much, man. Um, People have been hitting me up the past week, just checking in, and even today, and it really means a lot to me, man. You guys are the best. I love y'all. Um, this is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me, and yeah. I love y'all, man. Big love. Go stream Neverland. Hey guys.
Weren't we just talking about strategy? I didn't know that this was gonna bridge for me. I didn't. I promise you, I didn't. But he just did it. Like my point gets made on accident. Like the most I've talked about Joey Badass is since the last year with the whole Kendrick and Drake and him dissing Kendrick and now the Daylight Battle. I'm just being real. The most I talked about Kid Cudi over the last shit longer than that, 5, I don't know, is this trial. So what does he do in his post right after this? He promotes his album. You see? So you gotta, it's the music industry, man. You gotta do what you gotta do, and it's just part of rolling things out. But all right, he seems to be in decent spirits coming off the stand. I could assume that it was extremely nerve rattling for him. A lot of people's getting up there nervous. It's a big situation for a lot of people. It could affect your career as well. How people will perceive you after. Speaking of promotion, I could do one more for you. The guy Hayes, the male escort that would go by the name the Punisher. He got a book that's being promoted right now, right? He got a book out, right? So he's getting promotion for his book. What's this? All right. Kid Cudi says that both he and Diddy were tricked by Cassie, according to what he said during cross examination by Brian Steele. We were waiting for Brian Steele. Well, I was waiting for Brian Steele. I was just like, come on now. We know Brian Steele, he'll slap some people up on that stand. You know, his cross, from what we seen in the YSL trial, he'll put the judge in a binder. He'll get the judge fired. Like, Brian Steele will make the judge sit there frustrated, like, no. I want to know where you found out. No. Don't worry about where I found out, bitch ass nigga. I just heard that there was some witnesses and a defendant, you know what I mean, back in your personal chambers together, and nobody from my side was there. What's up with that? Who told you that? I ain't snitching on shit. Tell me if it's true or it's not, Judge. Is it real or is it not? I listen. I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna put you in jail if you don't tell me. If you don't rat on who fucking told you. Well, put me in jail next to Thug then, so I can stay on the case. But I want you to answer my question. How you answering the question with a question? Answer my question, Judge. Was you back up in your personal chambers with these lawyers from the prosecution and Woody and all that without my people? Yes or no? I ain't it. All right. Well, fuck it. Put me in jail then. A nigga that will get a judge up out of here. I never seen that in my life. I never heard about that in my life. If you could get the judge out of here, then you understand why I've been waiting for. All right, tag him in. Tag him in, B. What the fuck is going on here? It's like the fucking three-peating Chicago Bulls coming onto the court, but you left Michael Jordan on the bench. Like, yo, somebody fucking tag this nigga in. Check this man into the game, B. So he's checked into the game. He's checked into the game. All right, why you check him in for Kid Cudi and not Cassie? That's got to be tactical as well. I thought that she was going to get attacked, pregnant or not. Like really super violated up on the stand. But they're even using other people to violate her. That's what we're seeing right here, people. That's what Brian Steele just did. Brian Steele went to work and managed to make Cudi admit Cassie played him and Diddy. Cudi said that even though Cassie lied about not being with Diddy and claimed he was abusive, she still gave Diddy Cudi's address. Why you giving up the Addy, bitch? Yeah, I ain't taking the B word back. I ain't. because you could have got this man killed. Let's be real. Diddy's a dangerous person, allegedly. Did he get you out of here? Cassie, there's testimony that Cassie even took on the reputation of Diddy by threatening people, right? Didn't we see that already in the trial, people? She was on somebody's heels about them possibly having footage of a freak off. She's like, I'll kill you. It won't even be me to do it. You better give me that photo. Show me right now. Somebody kill you right. I'll say allegedly, right? It won't even be my hands that do it. She feels empowered but because her little 110-pound ass is walking around like she's a killer. Who she feel empowered by? Diddy, right? So allegedly Diddy is a dangerous man, and you caught up in between these two men fucking both of them. You fuck around, almost got one of them killed. I'm not going to gloss over that. All right. Anyway, still, both of you guys were tricked, right? Cudi, yes. Still, the person who tricked you is the same person who tricked Sean, Miss Ventura. True? Yes. Cudi answers both of those in favor of Diddy and the defense. That's good leading by Brian Steele. Now, I thought that you could object to shit like that because when you say true, like the prosecutor objection, the leader calls the lead in, you know what I'm saying? It's like the over alley oop. That's like you calling your boy, yo, Aaron. I'm here right now next to Shorty. Right now, we arguing, man. She think I was I not with you at the bowling alley at 8:14 p.m. last night? Right? yeah. We were. The alley oop. You know what I'm saying? Brian still did a little bit of an alley oop there, but he's lawyering. That's the point of presenting your words in such a way where whether you got this guy trapped or he's just stuck being honest because he doesn't want to be up here with perjury and lying in front of the court, you present it in a way to get what you need. And that was a good one. That was a good one. All right. So Brian Steele officially checked into the game. All right, let's go. Full recap now. Full recap mode. Wait. My bad. Before I get to the full recap, let's just one more around the perimeter, people. One more around the perimeter. See these exhibits came in yesterday as well. Diddy's court defense exhibits Cassie's glamour shots. So, all right, beautiful modeling pictures of Cassie. Okay. All right, more modeling pictures. I didn't know that she was this skinny. I didn't know she was. This very. She's way more thin than I thought she was. She's still a beautiful woman. Okay, more glam shots. Okay, look at this. You out here with the mega A plus listers. Rihanna, right? Can't get a seat next to Rihanna unless, right? More pictures with you and other celebrities. I mean, she became a celebrity herself. So is this Westbrook in the middle? Damn, they look like Russell Westbrook. More glam shots. Okay, more pictures with Wiz Khalifa. All right, more glam shots. So the point of all of this, people, is to show the lifestyle that comes with being with Diddy, the pros. We're hearing a lot of the cons. You got beat on, you got this, you got that, and that's not to be belittled, to be abused by a man, or a man to be abused by a woman. That's not to be belittled, people. But it's a defense. So they're showing all the pros. They're showing all the consent. Wasn't you happy when you got a chance to, be in front of TMZ sitting next to Rihanna? You know what I'm saying? Wasn't it cool to be in a studio with Timbaland and Dr. Dre? Wasn't it all right to be in Malibu and collaborating with you know what I'm saying? So I see what they're doing and why they put that in as evidence, the consent. Because people will always ask the question, what the fuck made you stay? Hey, Dawn, what made you come back and re-up? If you're saying that you feared this man, why you come back for the re-up? He did this in Malibu or he did this in the hotel. Why'd you come back? You say he argued you on the living room floor. Why did you have consensual sex with him after that? And the only answer that Cassie can come up with is, I loved him, or I didn't want to make him upset, or I'm telling you, the main sex trafficker that they're going to have to paint ain't these escorts and whatnot. It's gonna have to be Cassie because they're gonna keep trying to prove that she wasn't consenting. That's why even the guy Hayes, the male escort that they used 9 to 12 times, that's why even he said in his TMZ interview, he said it seemed that the prosecution was going after when I said at times I would see Cassie maybe wince or sigh. In hindsight, I could see what they're doing in the midst of the act. We was fucking like a wince or a sigh is part of sex. The fuck. So they're trying to make it like even the freak offs Cassie did not want to do, but good luck doing that when they already got evidence showing she booked some of them, she set some of them up, she was highly involved in them. Text messages about, hey babe, last night with boom boom boom, but I don't want it to just be a sex thing. I want to come home to something. I want it to be more, almost leveraging the freak offs. Like if I'm gonna be doing these freak offs with you, marry me, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right, let's go to now the full recap breakdown that we've been doing for each day. I wonder if later on, like, they're gonna run out of witness testimony that is so good where the recaps are gonna get shorter. Because even though I'm here for the work with y'all folks, I don't think for 8 weeks it's going to be this much that it's going to be explosive coming out of court. It's week 2, so what do we expect? All right, court resumes. This is here, full recap, day 9. Judge Arun has taken a bench. When we get going, Diddy's ex-assistant, George Kaplan, is due to continue. So we heard from him yesterday, which he began yesterday. Yep. He's one of Diddy's assistants. There's nothing too crazy from his testimony. There was a couple things in there that I could see the defense wants to fight. But judge and lawyers joke about Kid Cudi's dog before hearing start. The judge keeps joking, keeps lightening the mood in there. Little moments of sarcasm. He seems to be a sturdy yet down to earth guy, which I assume you would want for your judge. Right? The sturdy moment was when it appeared he was putting his foot down for how long Cassie was going to stay. No, Friday she's done. Y'all get a day and a half. They get a day and a half. That's it. So it seems sturdy with that, and that's fair. So I ain't mad at that at all. But all these jokes we keep hearing about, okay. The judge and the lawyers are discussing what they can expect to hear in court. Okay, the conversation moves to Kid Cudi. Defense lawyer Brian Steele says the prosecution is intending to discuss Cudi's dog being shut in a room in December 2011. Oh, so y'all joked about, is Brian Steele going to get at him for some animal rights cruelty shit? And then a joke came out of it. What? Brian Steele, you crazy. Prosecution lawyer Christie says the location of the dog is central to understanding if anyone was home or not, which speaks to later break-in at the home. Oh, so the dog is part of the break-in testimony. Okay. The judge jokes that Cudi is not going to testify what the dog thought, which elicits laughter from the. All right, okay, yeah. So the judge had a little funny, a little sarcastic moment. You can't prove what the fucking dog was thinking, y'all. Steele says there may well be dog lovers on the jury. To which Slavic adds, "Unfortunately, the dog is no longer with us." So it's becoming serious. It's becoming important. This is not. We laughing. I've been laughing this whole time, but this is smart by Brian Steele. Listen, I'm not overhyping Brian Steele, but did y'all see my transitions as I was going through this right here in front of y'all? I went from laughing. Okay, y'all joking about a dog. Okay, hold on. Is a dog coming in and testimony? Okay, that's why the judge said that. Oh wait, hold on. Brian Steele has an issue. Hold on. Animal cruelty is serious in this world. People be getting they mink jackets and whatnot spray painted for a reason. You get your houses burnt down. Like people do crazy shit behind animal cruelty. You ever hear how people sarcastically say that in America animals are protected more than black people? Y'all ever hear that? Right? Go ahead and do a movie right now or a video right now where a dog gets killed and see how much trouble you get in. Now go do a video of 10 black men getting shot and see if there's an issue. It's real. It's real. And I'm going to give y'all the references to make y'all think and say, oh, shit. You play around with an animal in a music video, they got to put the whole no animals were harmed during the making of this movie or during this commercial or during this video. They're very careful with animal cruelty. So Brian Still's right. Yeah, okay. I ain't overhyping the man. He's right. Okay. All right. Diddy's ex-assistant returns to the stand. George Kaplan, a former assistant of Diddy, is back on the stand after starting his evidence yesterday. The jury is back as well. I was asked to hold 50,000 in cash for Diddy. Kaplan is being questioned by a prosecutor, by the prosecution side this time. Sometimes I try to avoid names, people. It's too much trying to pronounce these people's names correctly. He said he was infrequently asked to carry cash for Diddy, recalling one time in 2015 when he says he was asked to hold 50,000 in cash by security. So he also says he was asked to pick up 10,000 from a Western Union that had been wired from Combs Enterprises, which he says he gave to Diddy around 2 or 3 times. So Kaplan clarifies that he is in court after being subpoenaed and says he has an immunity order, meaning his testimony will not be used against him. Yeah, because there was times where he was allegedly carrying drugs for Diddy too, right? Or delivering drugs for Diddy. I think we saw that yesterday. He adds, it does not protect me if I lie today. Okay, so I guess you're trying to say that you're going to be truthful because you already have immunity. And if you got subpoenaed, nothing stops you from getting up there and pleading the fifth. So the prosecution goes after, hey, let's give this guy immunity so he doesn't get up there and refrain from answering any of his questions because he's involved in things that he possibly thinks he will incriminate himself by saying. We don't want him. Give him immunity so that he feels free and flexible enough to say whatever the fuck he needs to say about Diddy that we can use. That's what that's about. All right. Witness Cassie. Cassie yelled, "Isn't anybody else seeing this?" as Diddy smashed glasses on plane. Okay. Moving on to Diddy's romantic relationships, Kaplan says he was aware of Kim Porter, the mother of 4 of Diddy's children, and Cassie and Gina. We keep hearing this name, Gina. This side girl, Gina, or this other woman, Gina, that was very important to Sean Combs, it seems, because we saw a testimony where it was like, yeah, Gina was a problem. She was a real, real problem as it relates to Cassie. I think it was Cassie's best friend that testified that, right? Who is Gina? Okay, whom he describes as Diddy's girlfriends, plural. All right. He says he regularly witnessed physical violence between Cassie and Diddy. Okay. He goes on to discuss specific incidents of violence he says he witnessed. The first took place on a private plane to Las Vegas in the second half of 2015. Kaplan says he was sitting near the front of the plane when he heard glass breaking. He says he looked back and saw Diddy standing over Cassie, damn, while she lay on the floor on her back with her legs held up as if trying to create space between her and Diddy. Damn, what was she kicking up at him? Like, damn, chill. He describes Diddy holding up a whiskey rocks glass and there being a tremendous commotion and scuffle with Cassie yelling, "Isn't anybody seeing this?" What the fuck? Damn! Once again, this isn't a domestic violence case, but shit. What's up with dude? By this point, we know. Why am I still shocked? I don't know why I'm still shocked. You want to know why I'm still shocked? Because in these recaps, I'm able to visualize what I'm reading. And I'm really visualizing on this private jet on the way to, because y'all get into it even at times when I need the big screen for a second. Fuck it. It's a podcast, right? Have y'all ever been out of town, out the neighborhood, out the city, out the state, out the country with your significant other? Even if it's, just somebody I'm seeing, even if it's your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband. Have y'all ever done that before? Right? You see how there's like the sayings, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Why? Because you're getting away from all of your norms. You're getting away from all your problems. When I go on vacation, I got 3 vacations coming up. 3. And they damn near back to back to back to back. The last thing I'm going to be thinking about while I'm on vacation is the shit that got me stressed out. Now, like, I got good stress. Like, I'm so blessed. I have good problems. You know what I'm saying? But it's stressful because it's life. It's work. It's the grind. If I don't do this, this will break. If I don't do this, this will have a problem. I got to take care of this on a daily basis. I got to take care of this on a weekly basis. I got a podcast. Like, right. But I have 3 vacations coming up. That's like back to back to back. And I leave everything home. Anybody that I'm with on a vacation, like there's never supposed to be beef or fight or problem. I'll be going out the country or going out the state on on trips with loved ones, you know, with loved ones, right? If something happens, it's got to be like some drunk shit or something like, yo, this nigga fucked the night up because he got drunk, like something like that. How many times do I have to hear in this relationship, y'all be getting into it on like you're on a private jet on your way to Vegas, and she ends up on the floor with you holding a fucking bottle, a whiskey bottle, and she kicking, dog kicking up. And the other one that we heard about, what was it, Jamaica? With a friend testified, like she went to the bathroom and she took too long. He went and smashed her head in the brick wall and dragged and all this. I said it before, I'll say it again. Getting into this type of shit on vacation is diabolical, B. It's diabolical. I feel like relationships and couples that are even having problems at home, if they get to a point where they're going to book a trip together, that means that whatever we got going on, we still down to go travel together and have a good time. You out the country and you still can't put your shit down. You supposed to be out here having a good time living up. You still can't put your shit down. People's mentalities on vacation be so different. They be so disconnected. You still is beating on this woman on vacation, allegedly. That's different. And I'm explaining why. That's different. Beating on somebody on vacation is different, B. If you're an abusive guy and you beat the shit out of your woman at home, right? If that's y'all norm, that's y'all norm. God forbid. But y'all are going on vacation and you're still doing it. I don't know if y'all travel as much as I do. I don't know if y'all could just understand why this is such a psychological thing to me. Like on vacation, I just know how my mind is when I'm away. But it's crazy. Kaplan says that after the last glass shattered, Diddy came to the front of the plane and sat in one of the captain's chairs, telling Cassie to stay at the back, describing Diddy's mood. She says he was pretty even keeled. He went and sat in the fucking the driver's seat, so to speak, of the plane. Stay your ass back there. You really treated her like a kid, allegedly. No car for you, no jewelry for you this week. You sit there, you stay there now. You're on punishment. Like, I just don't see how somebody goes for it unless they are consenting. Because so many people is just like, the fuck out of here. I wish I would. I wish you would. All right. I stopped working for Diddy as physical behavior made me uncomfortable. Kaplan describes at an instance later in 2015 when he was called to Diddy's bedroom in his LA home. What did you call the room for? And saw Cassie on the bed, visibly upset, with bruising near her right eyebrow, and with head in her with her head in her hands. Okay. He says Diddy asked him to pick up items from a pharmacy, including anti-swelling solutions, adding, "I remember witch hazel, an astringent known for its anti-inflammatory property." So when we was looking at the stream yesterday, I said that. When we was looking at the exhibit, that picture, I said, "Is that witch hazel?" Remember I said that. But I still think it's very bugged out as well. If this is all true, allegedly, that Diddy is he's so laid back about it that he allows other people to see it. Like, remember the story of him punching her out at an outdoor restaurant? They said other celebrities were around and whatnot. And like, if you're that type of guy and you're abusing your woman and she's holding her head because she got a black eye, or you just gave her a black eye or a bruise or whatever, don't you think you want to hide that? You black her shit and then you call the assistant in and he gets to walk in and see this. You have that much trust in people, huh? Hey man, yeah, her sitting there. You already know what's going on. Hey, run to the pharmacy for me real quick and go get some shit that for her to put on her eye. The fuck? The fuck? Kaplan says he stopped working for Diddy, and this is why I say people. I believe up and down that I really believe that Diddy's a piece of shit. In my own personal opinion, I think he's a piece of shit. I don't fuck with the man at all. I just want to follow this trial to see if he deserves to be convicted of these charges that he has. Though it's a big difference. I'm trying to be fair and separate the two. He describes the decision as being extremely challenging because he was grateful for his role. There you go. That's motive. And he had respect for Mr. Combs, but says, in my heart of hearts, I knew it was the right thing to do. That's why he said he stopped working for Diddy. Okay. He says at this time, his father was diagnosed with prostate cancer, which he describes as the last straw. Okay. All right. As Diddy former assistant continues his testimony in court, we've just seen this image from Kid Cudi. We saw some of the video yesterday at him walking up to court, coming in like a side entrance, going through security, taking off his jacket. They checked him and everything, regular shit. Okay. Diddy hurled decorative apples hard at girlfriend court hears. What was those? The type of shits that you put like on an island in a kitchen or something, fake fruit. All right. He says he was at Diddy's Miami home late one night and saw him throwing decorative apples at Gina. Oh, Gina was at the crib in Miami in the entryway of the mansion. Oh, so now y'all got talk of him being abusive towards his Gina too, Gina woman too. So now we got testimony of him being abusive towards Cassie's friend, Cassie, this woman Gina. Is an all-out woman beater, huh? Allegedly. Allegedly. Hmm. All right. He says Gina was trying to shield herself with her arms and move away from him. He says he later witnessed tension between Diddy and Gina when he delivered a medicine bag to him, and then hard commotion from Gina and Diddy during the night near the front gate, with a lot of commotion and screaming back and forth. Kaplan said he could hear security was there and he heard other male voices, but said he did nothing because I really wanted to have a successful career. Motive, and that standing in the way of an argument going on was not going to make me a success. So you put your bread and your opportunities in front of your morals. There, it happens. Kaplan says he handed in his notice into Diddy a month later, speaking to Diddy's former chief of staff, Christina, and describing the row he'd seen between what's the row between Diddy and Gina? What's the row? Is that a typo? He added that when he told Diddy his father was ill and he was leaving Diddy was extremely gracious. Okay. I was, you didn't tell him, yo, I'm out of here, man, because the shit you got me around is crazy. You told him, like, yeah, I got to go because my father's sick. Kaplan says he had to compartmentalize, my bad, his experience of working for Diddy, adding, in some ways, it was the most incredible thing that ever happened in my life. He says, I liked Mr. Combs and I wanted to have a relationship with him. What? Mm. Diddy's lifestyle, like drinking from a fire hose. Cross examination of Kaplan, Sean Diddy Combs, ex assistant begins. After the prosecution finishes their questions, Kaplan worked for Diddy for several years, up to December 2015, and was subpoenaed to appear. Okay. All right. So this is the lead attorney that I think is doing the cross. Mark, whatever, Nifolo. I'm pretty sure he's the one that got that had that funny moment with Costco, right? Over the baby oil. Costco came out and said, "Shut up, Dick. We don't carry that." He's the lead for a reason. So let's go. Diddy's lead lawyer begins by asking Kaplan to expand on the incredible time he had while working for Diddy. Kaplan says he was young at the time, just realizing how big the world was, and says Diddy made my world so much bigger. So yeah, He's trying to make sure that the jury hears all the pros and all the goods and all the opportunity, all the lifestyle, all the great that came with working for Diddy. You know, if I'm the defense, you want to say, all right, there's 365 in a year. All right, 30 of them, 30 of those days, you might have seen Gina get hit, Cassie get hit. I might have balked on you. I might have threatened you and said, hey, don't make me fuck around and fire you. But these other 335 days of the year, what's going on? Right now, what's going to stand out is the things we're going to talk about, which is, yeah, Cassie was holding her head with a black eye, or one time I seen Gina getting hit with a decorative apple. That's the standouts of the year. But what about everything else while you're there, living it up and getting this check and whatnot? That's what the defense is going to do. That's what they have to do. Kaplan describes Diddy as pushing him to his deepest depths, adding that working for Diddy was a once in a lifetime opportunity. It is. And you got people that are even interviewing saying that. The first assistant that came up, he said that's why he wanted to work for Diddy. He wanted to get into fashion and all this type of stuff. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity to work for the man. Now imagine what so many millions of women in the world would probably feel like it is to be his spouse, a once in a billion, a literal billionaire opportunity, right? That's why I think Cassie was like, man, I need more. Wife me up. Let me get a ring. Respectfully, allegedly. We learned that the birthday of the late rapper Notorious Big, which was yesterday, is marked as Combs Enterprise with a holiday for all staff. Okay. Sean Combs loves apples. What? Cross-examined former assistant. Well, we don't care about that. If Diddy was making multiple $1,000 purchases and confirms he was, Kaplan is asked if the company's statements were scrutinized to decide which purchases were business and which ones weren't. And Kaplan says no. Okay. So if you're involved in, because Kaplan testified earlier about times when things were done through Combs Enterprises, why does this matter to me? Because this is a damn RICO, right? And you're establishing that these different business entities, Combs Enterprises and Bad Boy Records and all, he used these businesses to run a criminal organization. Okay. So if you are one of my assistants, if you are staff and you happen to go to the store on this day to buy Astroglide and baby oil for me, and that's done on just cash, right? Because we joked about that the other day. We said, oh, you don't want to use the corporate card for that. You can't write that shit off on your taxes. Why not? Right. Right. Especially he would have been able to if he would have just, like, in my advice, went into the damn porn industry the way Snoop Dogg did, directed his movies like that. He still could have sat in the corner jerking off with Astroglide, allegedly. He still could have did it. And now you could have wrote off the Astroglide and the sex workers and the travel and all you could have wrote off on your taxes. You have a legitimate branch the bad boy of a porn fucking label or whatever. You could still call it bad boy. It still fits. You know what I'm saying? But to the point, and then you go over here, you purchase something that really is business like. Like, okay, this is what Cassie is going to wear for her album cover, and write that off on your taxes as a business expense under Comb Enterprises or LLC and certain type of credit cards that's being corporate cards that's getting swiped. So the whole RICO element here is why the assistant's testimony is important to the defense. The record keeping, sometimes you made purchases that were on and off the books for underneath the corporation and whatnot. I see what the defense is doing there. That's important. This is still a RICO, right? As much as we're focusing on domestic violence, it's the RICO. So finally, as much as I don't see the prosecution going at things that make me feel, oh, finally, we're talking about something that's going to be related to these RICO charges, the defense is attacking RICO right here. I get it. All right. Goes on. Ask Kaplan now if Diddy was keeping track of applesauce purchases, or was he? He says no. Okay. Prosecution goes on. What was the applesauce? Kaplan says Sean Combs loves applesauce. He would always have it on or on the side of things. All right, whatever. All right. Diddy would track purchases of applesauce or baby oil? Kaplan, no, adding it was always there when he wanted it or needed it. All right. So to me, this is not about the applesauce, people. Okay. When I read the title here, I was like, what? It's not about the applesauce. He's going after company financing and how the business is spending money, being that there's supposed to be a criminal enterprise. I never heard Diddy threaten to hurt Cassie. Finishing his cross examination, Diddy's lead lawyer asked the ex assistant Mark Kaplan if the rapper ever yelled at him. Kaplan says he did. So, and I don't want to say so, like I'm saying nobody deserves to be yelled at, in a workplace. I'm just saying I just feel like this is typical of his type of work environment. So at this point, I'm kind of numb to it. Like, yeah, Diddy's gonna be talking to people sideways, and people's gonna be accepting it because that's just the type of boss that he is. You see people saying he's not on trial for being a shitty boss or a horrible boyfriend. He's not on trial for that. So that's why my brief sarcasm comes there. I'm not trying to dumb it down, people. Kaplan confirms that Diddy threatened his job, but never threatened him physically. He also confirms he never heard Diddy threaten to hurt Cassie in his presence. Yeah, allegedly, he's only putting his hands on the women, allegedly. All right, Cudi, you up? Scared Cassie didn't know what Combs would do when he found out about us. Kid Cudi tells the court. Kid Cudi is being questioned by Emily Johnson for the prosecution. Okay. The 41-year-old describes himself as an actor and a musician and says he briefly dated Cassie in 2011. Confirmation from him. Okay. After first meeting her at an event in New York in 2008, going on to work on some music together. The defense is going to be like, every time these motherfuckers come around Diddy girl, they end up snatching them. That's why he's so jealous of Michael B. Jordan. Look at the trainer that she got kids with now, Kid Cudi. I almost had to blow a nigga car up. Oh, he did, allegedly. These niggas be snatching Diddy's girl, huh? Or takes two. All right, let's move on. All right. Cudi describes a day in December 2011 when he says his apartment was broken into by police and police subsequently came into his home. He says he received a call from Cassie in the morning around 6 a.m. and told him Diddy found out about us. Oh, so right there, you're putting the crib breaking on Diddy, huh? All right. And she texts him, he found out we're caught. He got us. Now we see early when I showed that why Brian Steele got up there and said Cassie was tricking both y'all niggas, huh? You see why? And she's playing in the middle. We caught. Get the fuck out of here. Cudi says she wanted him to come and pick her up as she was worried Diddy would come to his house, adding she was very stressed, nervous, scared, and didn't know what Combs would do. He describes being confused, and he says he didn't think she was still dealing with Diddy, and says Cassie had previously described him as being abusive towards her. Cudi says he took Cassie to Sunset Marquis, a hotel in West Hollywood, as he thought it would be safe and away from him. Okay. Cudi says Diddy broke into his house and messed with his dog. Kid Cudi says he spoke to Capricorn Clark, one of Diddy's employees, who told him Diddy and one of his team were in his house and she was sitting in a car outside of his home. So somebody from Diddy's team told that Diddy and somebody else was in Cudi's house, told that to Cudi? All right. Cudi says he headed straight back to his apartment, calling Diddy and asked him why he was in his house. He says Diddy told him calmly that he wanted to talk to him, added, "I'm here waiting for you." What the fuck? What? People, that's some movie shit. What? Yo, Diddy is a fucking gangster, B. What? What? Did I just read that? Yo, the nigga said he got word Diddy and somebody broke into his crib. He went and stashed Cassie, calls Diddy. Yo, man, what's going on? I heard you broke into my crib. Yeah, I'm here right now waiting for you. What? Yo, this is John Wick, son. Like, this is John Wick, B. Yo, this nigga's in your crib sitting there answering the phone like I'm here. Not even like break into the crib. And because this ain't TV, people. Like, if you break into somebody's crib, you don't belong there. You know you breaking laws and everything. There's a nervousness to the situation. You're probably hoping you break in and catch the nigga slipping, and then you catch him and sit him down, talking to him, tie him up, whatever. You really on some movie, John Wick. You broke in and then sat there answered the nigga call and then told him I'm here. Allegedly. Yo, this nigga's a gangster, B. He's a fucking I see why all y'all was scared, man. You knew he that nigga's a gangster, B. Maybe I need to give him back some man points. I'm saying everything seems to be physical towards women, which would make a nigga a sucker. Like if you ain't hitting on no hitting a woman is already, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't for it. You know what I mean? But if all you do is hit women and you ain't got no history of putting your hands on a man, then it's like compounded. Like you're a super sucker. You know? I'm giving him some man points back. It's like, are you rolling up on niggas too? Like, I'm not saying Kid Cudi's the toughest, but I'm just trying to picture him sitting in the dark crib in the shadows of another nigga crib waiting for him to come home. That's some devious shit. That's some devious shit. I'm here waiting for you. Kid Cudi testified. Wow. He says when he arrived home, he found things looking normal, but says his dog was locked up in the bathroom, whereas normally he would run. This is really John Wick, son. Niggas playing with the dog. This is some John Wick shit. The I was joking, son. I'm dead serious now. It's some John Wick shit going on with the dog and this nigga sitting in the shadows. Cuddy, you just went back to the crib just regular? If I know you in my crib, you want to know how I'm coming back to that crib? You want to know how I'm entering that crib? Somebody's losing their life that night. Like, I mean, it's Diddy, so maybe you think that this is a controllable situation, but you're in my home, and I just got this text from Cassie saying he's on to us. I'm scared. Now I know you're in my crib, and I'm going to my crib. You know how I'm walking into that crib? If I go to the crib, I might shoot my own crib up. What? Cuddy, I know you ain't just walking to the crib like, okay, man, let's talk. It's your crib. The fuck? Diddy, I don't give a fuck. You might have got shot that night. Diddy got shot, niggas scared to death, son. He explains he had his dog for 2 years and that the dog became jittery and on the edge all the time. At that point, Cuddy says he returned to his car, calling Diddy again. He fell back. Okay, might have been a smart move. Cuddy tells the court he was angry, adding, I was looking for him. I wanted to confront him and fight. All right, so is he there or not? He says he later thought through the reality of the situation. He called the police to report the break-in. Yo, he thought twice. He said, yo, I ain't built for this situation. I got to let the cops deal with this one. Ain't mad at it, man. Because calling the cops is totally fine for a civilian. Kid Cudi's a street nigga. I don't know him to be that. So he's not violating any street code. So you want to call the police to handle a situation for you? That's cool. I just think that it's funny that at first you told him I wanted to fight and I'm looking for him. Then you went back to your car, you thought about it, you said, you know what? 911, 911. How may I help you? Yo, this is a nigga in my crib, man. I was thinking about fighting a nigga, but I changed my mind. So I need y'all to come hold me down. Nigga changed his mind, son. He said, I'm not playing this game of tag no more. I'm not looking for you. Hide and seek. I'm not playing this hide and seek game no more, son. I know how this movie ends. You know what? Kid Cudi actually was smart. It might sound pussy, but it was smart. It was smart. Because we watch too many fucking horror movies as black men where we still walk and women, girls, we still walk into the house knowing that something ain't right. You know the boogeyman is, you have confirmation. The boogeyman is in your crib. The dog is acting weird or locked up or some shit. Man, I ain't searching this whole house. You know what? Fuck that. Back down to my car. 911, I need help. Don't be the next horror movie, son. Yo, that nigga's the nigga side of him kicked in. The black man side. This is what happens in these fucking horror movies. You know what? Nah, I'm calling the cops. He did the right thing. He saved his own life. Said, how many movies do I need to watch? And then I'm gonna do the same shit? Fuck no. Oh shit! Let me come to the chat for a second. Oh, there's so much laughing emojis in the chat. B, this is crazy. Nigga said the dog is still jittery in the chat. The dog is scared of jittery because of Diddy. Yeah. Yo, yo, Diddy, you would have died that night, or you would have been shot at, or you would have had to kill me that night. I would either hit you, you would have hit me, or I would have missed or something like no fucking way, son. But I do understand. All jokes aside, I do understand losing the advantage. Okay, all jokes aside, people. All because we got to protect ourselves and take care of ourselves. All jokes aside, they say one of the best advantages that you have in your own house is you know the layout. You know where things are. You know where your access and entry points are. You know how to move about it. You know where the light switches are. You have the advantage in your own home. And if you set up your home in ways to defend yourself to the best of your ability, then you triple have the advantage. Okay. So they have this thing called clearing a house. Has anybody in the chat ever had to clear a house before? So you hear clearing a house or clearing an area. You think it's like military terminology only, right? Definitely applies there. They teach police officers, they teach people in the army, they teach military how to clear areas. That's where even short barrel rifles came in. You got this high velocity, high capacity type of firearm, right? And if you need to clear a house and you're turning corners with long barrel rifles, that can present an issue. Your barrel could come out before you, give away your position. Sometimes turning tight corners with something that's long, even getting in and out of like cars and trucks and tanks. So short barrel rifles became very popular for some of those reasons, other reasons as well, but for some of those reasons, clearing areas and getting in and out of vehicles without something that's too long, where you can still operate in these tight areas. Okay, with those type of firearms. Now, clearing a home, I don't know if you guys have ever done it before, but you may have done it because clearing a home isn't only with a gun. Okay, it can happen if you hear a bump in the night. You ever hear something at night when you're in the middle of sleeping and you wake up and you look around your house? That's a form of clearing your house. All right. It's just how tactical do you do it? Some people grab their gun and they start moving around corners and hallways a certain way and they check every area, every hidden position. They check the windows, they check the locks, they check the doors, they check the cameras, they check their security devices, and then everything's clear. And then they put their gun away and they go back to sleep. Even if you didn't do it like that, and even if you just woke up and you just la di da di da and just walked around and said, "My windows, my doors locked," and you went back to sleep, that's still a form of clearing your house. Okay. When I spoke about the advantages and disadvantages of your house, the thing is, somebody else is there before you. It's not like you're there and somebody's coming in. So if Diddy's there first, you know what I'm saying? All jokes aside, it really is the horror movie thing. You don't know what you're walking into. You lost the advantage, even though it's your house. You lost the advantage because he's in there first. You don't know if he's with people. You don't know if he's got guns. You don't know if he's aiming at the fucking front door, waiting for the door to open, waiting to hear the key put into the lock. You just don't know. So all jokes aside, I know I was laughing a lot earlier, but all jokes aside, people, if you happen to get a text message or a phone call, somebody saying, "I'm in your house waiting for you," walking into the house is dangerous as fuck. All right. I don't know if you're going to call the cops. I don't know if you're going to come with your people. I don't know if you're going to shoot up your own house. Whatever you're going to do, but just it's not safe. It's not. You lost the advantage. All jokes aside, and I know I'm speaking to a crop of people that just like, it was cool when we was joking. Then there's a crop of people that's going to watch this and say, "Damn, I do understand the clearing of the house thing. I never thought about it that way, or the advantages in a home. I never thought about it that way." And then there's also a crop of people that know what the fuck I'm talking about. They're very defensive minded people and they've cleared their home or other homes before. And they're like, damn, this nigga ARP sounds like he's military. I had that before. I remember I had a rant one time about something on the phone with somebody or maybe on a blog or something. And Disaster called me, the battle rapper Disaster. He called me and said, "Yo, I know you're military." And I said, "I'm not military. Are you kidding me?" I was like, "No, I would never join no military. I'm cool." He was like, nah, I don't believe it. Like, like you're military. I could tell by the way you talk about shit or whatever. Everybody's up here because these rap songs talking about 223s and 556 because it's popular. You're the only person online talking about 300 blackout is the way to go. Diz was like, no, 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 no. There's something different about you. I was just like, no, I'm not military, buddy. It's a lot of people that know the stuff that I know. A lot of people. But anyway, um, Scoffy says never did live fire training at night, but live fire training was insane. Drew, I see the question that you put in the chat. I addressed that at the very beginning of the stream. You can rewind and hear about that. My thoughts, my position on that. No element of surprise. I'm just making sure people's with me because we went offline. Trace as in trace rounds. You mean? It's another reason why lasers are off for military only, if you ask me, because they give up your position. Like a laser for what? You're gonna laser around your house and show people where you're at when you possibly have the advantage. Get out of here. That's TV shit or military shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was built for Eric. It was built for suppression and short barrel rifles. All right, let's stop. Let's stop because somebody's gonna use this against me if I ever get in trouble. You know, that's why I don't promote that type of shit. They're gonna go to this clip right here and be like, "You see?" I'm like, "You see what? I wasn't talking reckless. Like I want to be a gangster or nothing like that. I have some self defense training. That's as far as I'll go." All right. Let's go back to the recap, man. Kid Cudi and his crib, it was crazy. It took us on a tangent. Diddy listens to Cudi with arms and legs crossed. Oh my God. So y'all ended up having this conversation in your crib? Better not have. During Cudi's evidence, Diddy is sitting back in, oh no, in the court. Oh, thank God. Diddy is sitting back in his chair with his arms and legs crossed, looking attentively at Cudi and listening to what he has to say. Hey, he's sitting back like, you fucking sucker. Like, you sucker. I should have fucked you over that night, boy. I really should have did that night, boy. Yeah, I had you, bitch ass. Yeah. That's gotta suck for any defendant in any case to see people on the stand talking about you, man, in ways that could put you in jail. That's gotta suck. That's really, really gotta suck. All right. What the fuck? Kid Cudi describes reaction after finding out Molotov cocktail torched his Porsche. So that's allegedly what it was. Mm. You know what a Molotov cocktail is? You saw some of those used in the movie Bronx Tale. Remember the end when they was flaming up the store in the racist neighborhood? Was it the racist? Yeah, or was it the black neighborhood? I forget. But yeah, those were Molotov cocktails that were used in uh yeah Bronx Tale. You know, they be looking like bottles, and I think they have like flammable fluid in them, and normally like a cloth or a rag into the fluid. You light the rag, and then when the bottle breaks, and then all the flammable fluid catches the fire. It could expand with all of that. Flammable fluid. I guess you make a Molotov cocktail even with just general gasoline. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that stuff too much because you fuck around get flagged for it on the internet. Creation of that type of stuff, you get in trouble for it on the internet. Cuddy says his car was completely burnt up. Cuddy says the car was damaged with a Molotov cocktail, which he says were put into the driver's seat through the open top of the car. All right. Wait, my bad. But I missed this piece right here. Cuddy says he was away from home at the time, visiting his ex-girlfriend's sister's house. His ex-girlfriend's sister's house. What you doing with the sister of your ex? but, but was but was sent photos by his friend. Does your ex-girlfriend know you was with her sister? Cuddy says his car was completely burnt up and was written off after the fire. Wow. Asked what his reaction was to the fire, Cuddy answers, "What the fuck?" Cuddy says the fire was intentional and adds the last time he saw Cassie was at Soho House a few days after the blaze. He says he contacted Diddy saying that he wanted to meet up and talk as he felt they needed to speak before things gets out of hand. So that it's already out of hand. The crib situation and burning up your Porsche allegedly, it's already out of hand. The only thing that's left to happen is somebody get physically, one of y'all get hurt, right? It's already out of hand. And I can see he doesn't want to go war for war. I'm not going Molotov cocktail for Molotov cocktail. I'm not going breaking for breaking. I'm not going shooting for shooting. Let's sit down. And that's cool. Everybody has their limits. Maybe he'll argue, maybe he'll fight, but I'm not doing this whole Molotov cocktails and shooting at each other thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Got to know your limits. So now he wants to talk. I ain't gonna bash the man for that. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people online bashing him for that. I ain't gonna bash the man for that. He knows what his limit is. They say sometimes one of the best routes to victory is, I think this is like 48 laws of power, is just the person that's willing to do what the other person is not willing to do. Right. So like let's say you have a rule and a limit of no women, no children. Well, if the other person is willing to include women and children, you might lose. You see what I'm saying? The ability or the willingness to do what the other person won't. And if Diddy is allegedly willing to burn up cars and break into your crib, and Kid Cudi is not willing to go eye for eye with some of that stuff, then yeah, it's time to have this conversation. You win the bitch. Cassie's yours. I'm out. They're warring over her. Let's be real. Let's be real. Allegedly. All right. Diddy was like a Marvel supervillain during Soho House meeting about Cassie. They had a meet, so they did have this meeting over her. You got these niggas fighting over you, shorty, and there's no consent here, huh? Nah, I ain't gonna get into Cassie. I was going to be like, yo, is this something special, super special about her that we haven't already seen? Like, what's going? You got niggas getting their cars burned up and shit. All right. Cudi says he met with Diddy and his head of security, D-Rock, at a Soho House, describing Diddy was staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. I know exactly what the picture that he's talking about. The depiction. If somebody's back is turned to you and their hands is folded behind them, and you walk in and they don't got to look at you when they talk to you. I know that scene so well that I created it once upon a time. If you go to the Blood, Sweat, and Tears trailer, it might be the first Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I think it is. It might be the one where Swave Sever battle show off. But anyway, if you go to the channel, you just search the Blood, Sweat, and Tears trailers. It's one of them. We did a movie trailer, and I was so dedicated into being different with our trailers and bringing like a cinematic feel to them. We had goods at a payphone. Payphone people. When are people using payphones? Goods at a payphone calling me, trying to like act like you can't use your regular phone because these are like hits that are being put together, battles, right? He calls me on a payphone. I think that was about the Audi Boom battle. Yeah, I think. Or Danger Zone, one or the other. Sway Sever, the scene that we created for his battle was so dope. It was me and rest in peace Uncle Hef, who once upon a time was also a part of RBE for a short stint, and then went on to do his own thing as a promoter. And he did the Battleship series where he was doing battles on boats and everything. That was a cool concept. But rest in peace to Uncle Hef. But yeah, it was me and Uncle Hef, and what we were doing was we were running up on Swave to like set up the battle, right? And it's on a roof. Swave's back is to us. He's looking off of the edge of the roof out into the city. And he's got his henchmen with him. One of them is Fabio from Team Hami. Shout out to my man Five, right? And as we walk onto the roof, as we're trying to approach Swave in this boss role, this villain role, Five stops us and he pulls a gun off my hip as if he's like disarming me, like G Money and Nino Brown at the basketball court, like pat him down. I don't know, pat him down. So we blended all of that together. And that was a real 40 that Five took off my hip in that scene. And I remember like telling myself, I'm pushing these limits for a battle rap trailer because we're in New York, and I'm out here, walking around in a city that is very, very strict on their gun laws to do these movie trailers. And we're out in, I think it was in Harlem. We're walking around, cop cars passing us and all this type of shit. And I'm out there holding, I'm not uncomfortable holding, but my senses is heightened because I'm like, if you're coming out into the street with your hammer in New York, hopefully it's because you feel like there's something else going on, like a more important reason. I'm out here breaking the law, facing mandatories to do this fucking trailer. Like, so anyway, Swave's got his hands behind his back, looking like a supervillain. As we try to approach him, and his henchmen stop us and disarm us, and he never even looks at us as he talks to us. So if I was editing this video, I would put that clip in for y'all. Yeah, dope memory. So I know exactly what Kid Cudi's talking about. Sway, what up, nigga? All right, let's go back. Where was we? All right. He says Diddy described him as dating my girl, saying to him, Cassie told me you were broke up, and I took her word for it. Okay. Cudi says Diddy was calm, he describes, and weird, off-putting, adding Diddy offered him water twice. He says Cassie eventually arrived, adding, I was upset to find out that she kind of went back to him. At the end of the meeting, Cudi and Diddy shook hands, he tells the court. This part right here of saying he was kind of upset that Cassie went back to him, it's probably not just because you was with Cassie, or maybe you was digging her, maybe you was in love with Cassie. But remember, he testified that she told him that he was abusive to her. So not only do you look at her like, damn, we had our thing, but you also got to look at her like, you told me he was abusive to you. Now here you are in the middle of us going back and forth, and you back with the nigga. You was a lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck on then. Like, I hope Brian crosses that. I hope Steele crosses that. Not that I'm picking a side. I just feel like when I see stuff like that, I anticipate like, ooh, that's a gotcha. He says Cassie eventually arrived. Added he was upset. At the end of the meeting, Cudi and Diddy shook hands, and he tells the court. Cudi also says he asked Diddy, "What are we going to do about my car?" He says Diddy replied, "I don't know what you're talking about." Oh, he is a gangster. Diddy is a gangster, y'all. I don't know what you're talking about. He is a gangster, y'all. All right, he is. Diddy was a gangster, B. Wow. Cudi says he saw Diddy once a few years later at Soho House with his daughter. It says Diddy told him, "Man, I just want to apologize for all that bullshit. Yeah, time healed a little bit more. He seen him, shook his hand. My bad for the past, man. Your car and all that." He didn't say his car. He just said for the past. What about my dog, bitch ass nigga? That nigga's still fucking scary running around the crib. Cudi says it was the last thing he was expecting to hear. And after that, he made peace with it. That concludes the prosecution's questioning of Cudi. All right, what's up with this cross? Cudi admits Cassie played him and was living two different lives. Court hears. All right, this is the cross. Cudi is now being cross-examined by Brian Steele. They tagged him in for the defense. He asked about Cudi's relationship with Cassie and asked if he was confused when he discovered Cassie and Diddy had also been dating during his 1-year relationship with her. He says that's correct. And when asked if Cassie played him, he says yes. He agrees he had no clue Cassie had been seeing someone else. When asked if Cassie was smart, talented, outgoing, and has strong personality, Cudi says yes. That's relevant. Once again, we got to pay attention to these prosecutors and these damn defense attorneys, man. It's all calculated questioning. To ask if she was smart, talented, and outgoing. Smart. Why smart? Smart could even apply to the fact that you're revealing to us that you didn't know. So it's her level of trickery and smart and ability to maneuver and manipulate. Right? Also, smart could apply to the second word, talented, meaning that you can do your own thing. You are not bound to Diddy because you're talented. You can get up there. Didn't she say some shit before Diddy? She had like a modeling gig or something like that where she made $250,000 as a teenager. So she has the intelligence. She has the smarts. She is also outgoing. So she's a doer. She'll go hit the pavement and do her thing. How about strong? Strong personality. The type of person that can say no or leave if she really wants to. And he gets Cudi to answer yes to all of these. Smart question. Let me come over to the supers real quick. Scarfy hat, shout out to you with the super says, what year did that happen? It's ironic that Kid Cudi threw a Molotov in a car with two lovers in Maniac. Oh, talk about coincidence or irony, right? That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, I wonder if there's any relevance there. All right, Scarfy, good catch. Shout out to Drew with the super says Cassie is a victim. It's no other way to look at this. This girl was a teenager. She got groomed and passed around the industry, then abused physically, mentally, and emotionally. Diddy is sick. So shout out to you, Drew, man. Listen, these are one of those situations I feel just like Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion's drama that can divide people. And I agree with you that Cassie is a victim. And my bad, this super is big. Is a victim. I want you to be able to see my reaction to your super. Uh, Easily, duh. Just fucking take the big screen. Um, I agree with you that there's a lot of victimizing that Cassie had to sustain, or she did sustain, willingly or not, consensually or not. Victim. She's getting hit on, B. She's getting kicked and dragged and punched and stomped and shit thrown at her. Is testimony of her getting beat up on planes, beat up out the country on vacation. We see footage of her getting beat up in hotels. Nobody can ever contest that. I think Diddy is a piece of shit. How many I've been saying that for over a year. I think he's a piece of shit at person as a man. I'm good on him as a man, right? But there are elements here. If you can separate that part and go from the legal standpoint, there are things here where she's not the victim of. I think there's a lot of opportunities that she stayed on route for and she was consensual about. There's a lot, just like Dawn, they asked her, they said, if you feared him, why did you come back and ask for a second contract? She's like, I don't know. There's the opportunity, there's the lifestyle, there's the pros, and there's the cons. Diddy is presenting disgusting cons to being around him. A shitty boss, a shitty boyfriend. He presents disgusting cons. But we cannot act like there's no consent that's going on here. Some of it is abuse. Some of it is force. Some of it is disgusting. A lot of it is wrong. But there is some consent here. Now saying that she got groomed and passed around the industry, I don't know. They're trying to show angles of her cheating with Cudi. Allegedly, they're trying to put her next to Michael B. Jordan. This guy, that guy, the trainer. Diddy's burning up cars for her. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. So all this passed around the industry. Like, what's your definition of being passed around? If Kid Cudi is now testifying, this was a smart woman, and Brian still got him to admit, yeah, she fooled both of us. I didn't know about this past nigga, or shit, I thought it was just me. She fooled both. So when we go in the stuff that's coming out of this trial right now, is that being passed around? Was she passed to Kid Cudi? No, she wasn't passed to Kid Cudi. Was she passed to her current husband, who she's pregnant by right now? No, she wasn't passed to him. These are people that it appears, based on testimony, has gone towards behind Diddy's back. So unless you start showing me a bunch of other people that Diddy said, hey, Michael B. Jordan, here's Cassie. She's like, who was passed around more so to me, like a superhead, allegedly. The rappers were rapping about it. They was putting each other onto it. She's got the best head out right now. Superhead was she benefited from it. She put out a book. She exposed a lot of these rappers, became famous behind it, made some money, probably, allegedly, right? But they definitely passed her around. There's a lot of industry girls that we see getting passed around, right? But this man, I don't know. That's another thing that bugged me out prior. I said this before. I was just like, why is he treating his main chick like that? He's showing up to red carpets and Met galas with the woman. He's not hiding Cassie like some little side thing. This is his main. He's burning up cars for her. He's breaking laws for her. He's going crazy about her. He's jealous over her. He's beating the shit out of her if allegedly she takes too long at the bathroom. He's crazy over her, literally, allegedly. So that's not passed around the industry. Groomed, then you would say he caught her early. Some people say that about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Maybe he saw something. She already made $250,000 modeling before him. Saw this beautiful woman. Maybe he saw talent in her. Maybe saw an image in her. Signed her. Started messing with her. And there you have it. I don't know. I don't know. I will never clean up the shit that Diddy has done in this trial or to these victims and to these people. I will never clean that up ever. But I also can't look in the mirror and just ignore the consent. There's like 5 sides to this coin, and hopefully by the end we feel like we only got one side to interpret. So let's not take it personal towards each other, people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what trials like this do. Somebody puts out an opinion, yo, she consented over this. People attack. You know what I'm saying? Yo, she's not a victim here. People attack. Let's not let this split us up on the Sorry Shoe podcast, people. Okay? We all agree Diddy is a piece of shit. But then there's also going to be that angle of, what about these charges, though? I'm doing my best, especially to be the spokesperson here in front of everybody, to separate the two. Piece of shit person. RICO charge for sex trafficking and criminal enterprise conspiracy. And you got witnesses like a guy that literally just did an interview on TMZ saying, she winced and she sighed. It was all consensual to me. I lived in Harlem. I didn't cross any states. Got paid well. Didn't have any problems about it. Wrote a book about it. Diddy cool in my book. You see what I'm saying? It's my responsibility to separate the two, not just for me, but for y'all, if we're going to be here talking about it. So shout out to you, Drew. Appreciate the super. Hope that's good intellectual thought about this. I hope y'all understand some of this of where I'm coming from. All right, let's get back. All right. Yes. Once again, I feel like this was very, very purposefully placed by Brian Steele. That right there. I see exactly what he was up to. All right. Cudi confirms he spent holidays with Cassie and her family and agrees he was hurt when the relationship ended as he had cared for her. Oh. So he was getting the holidays. He's fuck around, falling in love with her or in love with her. And she's available for the holidays because Diddy got to be with the mother of his children, his kids on the holidays. Can't be with Cassie on the holidays, right? So, all right. Diddy doesn't want just his home situation, allegedly. It's like, that's my woman too, though. There's a lot of men in the world like that. I'm not justifying it. He also confirms that Cassie never told him of any sexual abuse from Diddy. And later, when it's suggested she was living 2 different lives, he agrees. So set him up again, that she's being manipulative, she's hiding things, literally living 2 different lives, in quotes there. So this cross, we see what Brian Steele is up to. And never told him about sexual abuse. So he placed that question as well. Because, yeah, you did tell Cudi about physical abuse, but sexual abuse, the defense wants these type of answers coming out that Kid Cudi never told or Kid Cudi was never told that by Cassie, because there's sex trafficking involved. And one of the main people that it seems that they're painting as being sex trafficked is Cassie. Coercion. The word coercion, by definition, involves the word forced, which is why they were so big on, did she seem uncomfortable? That's why they asked the sex worker that. He was like, nah, not really. They're doing it here. They're going after it here. Steele says, the person who played you is the same person who played Sean, Miss Ventura. Cudi says true. He also says it was Cassie who passed on his address to Diddy. The cross-examination of Cudi is now complete. Is he going to get recrossed again? Let's see. The drama was out of hand. Cudi describes giving Cassie space for my safety and her safety. Yeah, he got y'all shook. Cudi is now being questioned again. See, it seems that Diddy felt like that's the only way to get his woman away from the next nigga was violence. You wasn't able to keep her just from you. Just, I'm your man or whatever. You felt like she was stepping out, or she would. So you had to scare them both away from each other. And you did that allegedly by using violence. Okay. Cudi is now being questioned again by the prosecution's Emily Johnson. She asks what Cassie told him about the abuse and says that Diddy would hit her sometimes, kick her. Cudi says Cassie was really shook the day Diddy came to his house and says the relationship ended because he wanted to give Cassie space and also the drama was too out of hand. Yeah, he was stepping out. He was like, "Nah, I'm good on this," and that's what you're supposed to do. Because there's a lot of people in the grave and in jail right now behind these triangles relationships. All jokes aside, people, somebody within the triangle needs to be smart and remove themselves. Y'all asked me about a situation that I spoke about when I first started the stream, and you see the way I addressed that. To a degree, there's elements in there involving, like, let's say 3 parties, and there was a physical altercation. And the person also just did a video saying he had thoughts of making it worse than just the physical altercation. And this is what it's not about who's tough. It's not about who's stronger. It's not about who's cooler. It's not about who has more money, about who has more popularity. Right? Rest in peace, Trouble. Is this not how Trouble lost his life? Rest in peace, Trouble. Right? The boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend, people aren't sure. He comes to the crib, and Trouble ends up losing his life. So sometimes it's good. I think Cudi, all jokes aside, we joking about him sometimes during the stream. People gonna be calling pussy and as sometimes. All jokes aside, fellas, if there's a man with a woman that you are also fucking, even if you are in love with her, or even if you feel that she's for you or you're her main, even if you feel that way, if there's another man involved and you are aware of that man's existence, do this first. First, tell yourself it's at least double of what I know. Tell yourself that first. She's not going to tell you. Unfortunately, people, it happens a million times. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave this up here while I'm on this topic briefly, people. There's rest in peace, Trouble. Shout out to the chat. There's rarely. I just don't believe that. If somebody's gonna step out on you or they're gonna have other situations, then that's not an honest person. So she's not gonna come to you and tell you, everything you want to hear. In regards to she's gonna leave certain details out. She's gonna lie about certain things. This man just testified that Cassie manipulated both of them. Okay, but if you are aware of this other guy's existence, fellas, double it. What you know, double what she's telling. She's that's just a friend. Add more to it. If your spider senses are tingling, believe as much as you want to trust your lady. If your spider senses are tingling, then try to figure out if there's more for you to know that might put you in jeopardy. Because fast forward, rest in peace, Trouble, or your car getting burnt up allegedly. You know what I'm saying? And Cudi is really doing the right thing from what we're reading here. I'm not mad at him at all, man. I got to remove the jokes for a second. This nigga broke into my house, got my dogs scared, locked up in the bathroom. There goes a joke. My car burnt up. This nigga's powerful. He's violent. He's beating on his woman from what she's telling me, allegedly. Y'all got it, man. I'm going to go over here. Cassie is not the last woman in the world, man. I'm going to remove myself. Break it off with her. Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing that should make a lot of men scared. Especially if it's Oppie. Especially if it's Oppie. Like let's say, I'm 50 Cent, right? Do you really want to be sleeping with a girl that is cool with Ja Rule? She could tell you whatever, but when she's with Ja Rule, is there anything that's being shared over there? Are you telling this person anything personal about me? The last thing I want anything personal about me in the hands of is somebody I don't rock with, I don't get along with. You know what I'm saying? So people will do that too. They have you in the middle with Oppie shit. Not just like, some third party man that I never knew. I'm just finding out that he's taking down my woman too. Sometimes it be people that got history, like him of all people. Like, you gonna put me in a situation with him or with my family or with my neighbor or somebody I know, all the niggas in the world, you gonna go there? I know the way a nigga liver was whack. You don't get a nigga back like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. But yes, fellas, ladies too. It's not worth it. Remove yourself because these situations often end up deadly. Often end up deadly. Okay. Um, he also asked why he wanted to give Cassie space, and he says it was getting out of hand. Okay. Cuddy says the reason he was concerned about safety was that he knew Diddy was violent. There you go. He also elaborates on his discussion with Diddy after the car fire and says when Diddy told him he didn't know what he was talking about when he asked specifically about the car, he believed that he was lying. Okay. Cuddy's time on the stand is now over and he leaves the courtroom. All right. So that's wrapping up for Cuddy. So we're not getting the defense recrossing again. They probably got everything they needed. I think Cuddy's testimony in general is a big point in this trial. So I think Cassie's was obviously star witness. I think Cassie's best friend was definitely going to weigh a factor. Cuddy's is weighing a factor here. We was all waiting for this celebrity name and one of the exes to get up there. And if it would have fell flat and nothing would have been relevant, but nah, there's important shit that has come out of his testimony. There's a lot of important shit. Wow. I feel like the sex workers one is important too. The guy Hayes. His is important too. These assistants, I'm in the middle about. You know, they could tip the needle here and there, maybe. So far, some of the stuff that we've seen, maybe one of them testifying about when they pulled up on a burger spot behind the Suge Knight situation, but nothing happened. So there's some stuff with the assistants, but that's my top 4 so far as importance to guilty, not guilty. All right, so we're done with Kid Cudi. Done with Kid Cudi. Judge warns defense over sexual line of questioning with jury while they're out for lunch. Okay. In pictures, Kid Cudi leaves the court after testifying. He came casual as shit, didn't he? A t-shirt underneath a jacket. That man came casual as shit. He said, man, listen, it ain't about me. Court resumes. All right, makeup artist worked with Rihanna and J-Lo. Let's skim this. Celebrity makeup artist Myla Morales tells the court she worked for Diddy. Okay. Is this her? Oh no, this is a picture of Rihanna. I'm about to say she looks like Rihanna. Yeah. I guess it's her work during her work on Rihanna. I was about to say, damn, damn, she like Rihanna. I was about to say, what the fuck? I know why you hired her. Oh shit. Yo, they got me. This it just proves to y'all how much I does this live. I promise y'all. All live reactions, all first verse, people, all first verse. Let's say, yeah, I see exactly why the fuck you hired Shorty, man. You look damn sure like Rihanna. Drew, what you got going on, homie? Appreciate the super. Drew says, let me take this in case. Drew says, my last point. Once abuse is introduced, it's no longer Cassie's choices or consent. The abuse can't consent. It's like a white person saying slavery wasn't that bad because some love their owners. Oh no, I disagree with you, Drew. I disagree with you. I love the point. I love the premise of where you're going with this. I'll tell you why I disagree. Let's go Kanye for a second. Slavery was a choice, dickhead, piece of shit ass Kanye. But anyway, that's force of even location and like geographically speaking, right? When you look at slavery, you almost got to look at it almost like jail outside of the bars and the walls, right? What would happen if a slave ran off of their plantation? They were hunted down by dogs, by the owners, by the staff. You can get killed for running away. You can get lashed for running away. You can get thrown in a hole for X amount of time for running away. Look at the movie Django, classic, right? His girl, his wife that he was hunting down to save. When he finally arrived at that plantation, where was she? They had her in the ground because she tried to escape, right? So the fact that you can get killed because you wake up one day and say, I don't want to pick cotton anymore. I don't want to shave this man's beard every morning. I don't want to cut this grass every day. I don't want to cook this man's food every day. I don't want to be called a nigger every day. All the things that slaves had to endure. If you woke up one day and you decided I'm off this, you can be killed for deciding I'm off this. Prison without walls is slavery. That's a night and day distinction, Drew. So now, and I'm going to get to your first part. I went to your second half first. Now let's get to the first part of the first half because I have two things out of your first half. Cassie in 2000 and whenever this started, right? I'm pretty sure somebody would argue what I just said now saying, all right, but AR, Cassie felt that she could have a car blown up or be killed or tracked down if she left. I get it. I get it. I get it. There's people in this chat that say they're calling the cops. There's people in this chat that say it would have never happened to begin with. The relationship didn't start with cars being blown up and all that type of stuff. The very first time this guy walks in and says, I want to do this freak off, you have the ability to, men do, or not even men, people do what people allow. Okay? If that video, when the hotel video dropped, I took the position, I said, this ain't the first time. It's impossible. Because he was too comfortable. He's in a towel. He one-handed her, throwing shit at her. I didn't care, drunk, high, whatever. It didn't matter to me. I could just see that footage and say, he's a piece of shit because that ain't even the first time it happened. You don't go 0 to 100 in situations like, rarely does that. The first time like that, you know, it's like gateway drugs. Oh, we in mode, people. Shout out to Drew, man. I really appreciate this because you taking me into a whole topic. We in mode. It's like gateway drugs. You know, like people don't think that the first time you do drugs, you went straight to a needle in your arm for heroin. They feel like you're drinking and weed and then maybe a pill. You like gateway. Same thing with abuse sometimes, right? You know, the first time it's like, don't make me fuck you up. It's like, damn, he never said that to me before. He got away with it too. Y'all went back to being normal. Flinched. You saw a super from yesterday's chat. Miss Abby put a super in the chat, said she broke up with her boyfriend because he flinched her. He didn't even get a chance to hit her. And she's gone. Shout out to one of our chat, Miss Abby from yesterday's stream. He flinched her and she left the relationship. Okay? Next time could be not a flinch, slapped the shit out, went across her face. You still here? We still good? We still flying to Vegas? We still on the red carpet tomorrow? After the freak off last night and all that? Bet. You're going to keep pushing the boundary. Next thing you know, you're getting dragged, you're getting hit, you're getting slapped. You think the first time Diddy hit her, it was in front of people? No. He realized the type of shit he could get away with, and the people people do what people allow. And I gotta hold down the type of the people that's also in the chat because you're not really saying anything wrong here. The slavery one, we got to get that out of here. We got to. But there are people in the chat that are scared to leave. I mean, I don't know about the chat, but there are people in the world that are scared to leave. And I respect that. I do. But there's a ton of people that live by that wish. Like, I wish nobody could even get a chance to flinch me, like Abby. Like, nigga, what? Let alone 11 years of getting hit on? It's not happening. It's not happening. Which is why the defense is trying to paint these pictures of, like you said, we saw the stream with the glam shots. Why did they put that into the evidence? They're trying to show that despite the bad, Cassie still wants to be there. She's pulling a Dawn. You testify you fear this man. So why did you come back for a second contract? Dawn answers, I don't know. So the same way we got to say, yo, there's people in this world where they feel trapped and they scared. We also got to say that there's people in this world, they're not going. There's no fear factor with them. It's like, oh, I'm here because I'm scared. Those people are here too. We got to respect both of them. So That's what the argument and the prosecution and defense is going to do. They're going to try to figure out and paint the picture of, was it trafficking? Was it fear? Was it like, no, she's going back and forth cheating with the trainer and Cudi? Was it that she was young and impressionable? Was it that, no, she's getting all these opportunities now to put out music? Like, that's what they're trying to do, side to side. Right. So now my last point, once abuse is introduced, it's no longer Cassie's choice of consent. So let's get into that line specifically and then we'll close this out. Definitely isn't consenting to be abused. Nobody, no real man is going to get on camera like me and say, like I am, and say some stupid shit like, hopefully. No, Cassie wanted to be hit. Shut up. No, I'll never take that position. I don't believe that she consented to being hit. That's not when we say consent, that's not what the world is talking about. They're talking about the overall. I'm taking the good with the bad. Yeah, I got a UTI, right? But after this freak off, tomorrow is my movie premiere. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So taking the good with the bad of what comes with being with Diddy. Same thing with these assistants. Yeah, he might have screamed. Yeah, he might have been this type of person, but shit, he's gonna help me get into the fashion, close to my fashion dreams. Or shit, I'm getting paid. You know what I'm saying? I like this check. The good with the bad. Some of y'all is taking good with the bad right now with a manager or a boss that y'all don't like. It's not this extreme like Diddy. Y'all not getting hit on, but the point still carries. The point still carries. Good with the bad. So saying the first time the choice or consent after that, if you want to hone in on the abuse, then you would say consent comes in the form of allowing. I'm not victim blaming. This is not Cassie's fault. Anytime this piece of shit put hands on her, I got to make this clear for anybody that don't know who I am. I got to make it clear. I got to make it clear, right? I get it. But if you are to allow this man to put his hands on you, and he's there to be able to do it for you for the next 10 fucking years, 8, 9 years, allegedly, the form of consent that people are talking about isn't, yes, Diddy, I'm allowing you to hit me. It's not that. It's the, you slapped me yesterday and I'm here tomorrow smiling with you on the red carpet. That is a form of consent. That's real life. That's a form of consent. Not literal consent. It's a form of consent. People do what people allow. If I let you take it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not stopping you. And I don't want people to reach and be like, oh, what's she supposed to do? Fight this man back, this physical, this violent, big. I'm not saying that. So many people might fuck up my words and not understand the context of what I'm saying here. The consent comes with the accepting of the good with the bad. It does not justify Diddy's actions. But the moment he does that, even for the first time, if you stay there for 10 more years, what are we left to decipher? All fear? All fear. There is fear there. But there's also the video that comes out of them on the resort. Like, it's a great old time. You're not always there out of fear. You're not always cheating out of fear either. You're not always accepting gifts out of fear. You're not always putting out albums and going to movie premieres out of fear. You know, piece of shit person. Put her in a very bad spot. But saying that there's no consent, I think would be naive of me at this point with these testimonies as well. Saying that there's no consent happening in any of this, I think would be a little naive, homie. But shout out to Drew, man. You just sparked some great conversation. Yeah. The mind is a tricky thing. You see what I'm giving. I gave you black and white for the slavery shit. I'm not going for that, Drew. It's not the same. I hope you understood what I broke down there. That first half of your shit, I did give you some gray, to be fair. There is some gray that I just gave you, but the moment that you accept the fact that there's some gray there is the moment that you understand that there's two sides to this coin. and we're gonna find out which one has heavier weight by the time we get to the end of the trial. Period. Period. It says I want to know what Diddy learned this behavior. Uh, um, I'm trying to see if I see anything with Drew in here that's not a super, because if you had a follow up to it, I definitely would still bring it up, homie. Appreciate you. Drew, appreciate the thoughts. Good conversation. Absolutely. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Drew. Oh, this is Drew's response. Okay. Thank you, ARP. You made great points. I appreciate you, homie. Great conversation from you. I respect my chat. I respect my chat unless I'm disrespected. There was nothing disrespectful you said to me, so we're just gonna have an adult conversation. I appreciate you. We don't have to agree. It's just about being respectful to each other. All right, let's get back to Diddy hiring Rihanna as his makeup artist. I was tripping for a second, right? All right. Diddy fight left Cassie with swollen eye, busted lip, and knots on her head. There's more testimony of people that have witnessed alleged violence between Diddy and Cassie. She says Cassie and Diddy went into the bedroom, and she heard yelling and screaming. She describes Diddy leaving the room and then seeing Cassie distraught and upset with a swollen eye, busted lip, and knots on his head. Or her head. Oh my goodness. Morales admits, I feared for my life, but adds she did not call the police. So there's a lot of this testimony that's coming in, people. That's not good for Diddy. There's a lot of this. I was scared. I didn't want to lose my job, or I was scared that he might hit me. Dawn testified that she was scared. So she didn't call the cops when she saw something. Cassie's best friend says she was scared. This person, Morales, scared. Assistant scared. Diddy, he's allegedly got a very like the atmosphere that he's creating is like it's eggshells. It's a lot of opportunity for some, but it's eggshells. She says she had spoken to the journalist about it, giving one media outlet a photo of her and Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and mother of 4 children. We know that, and says she was paid $1,000 for it. Just a stack. Just a little clean stack, Diddy. That's it. There are no more questions from the prosecution. They was done pretty fast, the prosecution, it seems. Makeup artist says she only heard Diddy Cassie row and photos of Wiz Khalifa's music video shown to the court. All right, that's why Wiz Khalifa's name's coming up recently. All right, no big deal for him. The defense also established that she has done quite a few TV interviews, including with CNN, Don Lemon, Piers Morgan, and several documentaries. So there, once again, what's the defense doing? They're showing the opportunities, the pros and the cons of being around Diddy. Like these platforms, CNN, Don Lemon, Piers Morgan. Same reason why they submitted those pictures of Cassie sitting next to Rihanna. We see the angles from the prosecution of the angles that they're saying this was forced, this was fear, and defense is going to continue with the consent and the opportunities presented. New witness takes stand. Another witness? Then you had a lot of witnesses in day 9. Who is this? Frederick Zamore, who was the general manager of 5 5-star luxury hotels. Shout out to you. Okay. He's doing his thing. Was he subpoenaed because Diddy used one of his rooms for a freak off? Hotel rooms require deep clean after Diddy stays due to excessive amounts of baby oil causing. That's why I asked the question about baby oil and the assistant that did cleanup, because you don't, like he said, he wanted to make sure he was there to protect. This was the assistant that was there to protect Diddy's image, because you leave these hotels behind, lipstick marks, stains, oil spots, or whatever. People take pictures of that, give it to TMZ, give it to the tabloids, headlines. Beyonce was here last night. Jay-Z never checked in, and there's lipstick all up and down. You know what I'm saying? Stupid shit. And shit like that can even be sold. People sell pictures like that too. You know? So I was saying, man, baby oil, it stains, right? Oil. Think about just regular white sheets. You will see that stain for forever, right? No? Oil stains like that. And here goes the owner of some hotels Talking about what the rooms look like after these alleged freak-offs. Wow. The name was later changed multiple times to Combs. Frank White. I hated the fact that he's checking into fucking freak-offs, allegedly using Frank White, Biggie's name. That's ridiculous, Diddy. Frank Black, you want to do the opposite of Big, then go ahead. Use Frank Black, but you ain't got no business using Frank White out here, B. I ain't like that. And was eventually changed to Ryan Lopez, according to you use Ryan Lopez. That better not be as if you was acting like you was J-Lo's husband or you invoking your Spanish side. Get the fuck out of here, Ryan Lopez. Diddy, you pissing me off with these names. Notes added by the hotel staff on Combs' profile included one which reads, always spills candle wax on everything and uses excessive amounts of oil. Place the room out of order upon departure for deep cleaning. He put these shits out of I'm losing business when this motherfucker leaves the room. Wow. Zamore's question is now over and there's no cross-examination. So he leaves the stand. They didn't even want to cross. The defense didn't even care to ask this guy no questions. Now we good. Another witness, Special Agent Joshua Croft, has now taken the stand to testify. He is the 16th witness called by the prosecution on his trial so far. I didn't know they had this many witnesses on day 9. Data extracted from Cassie's computers. Okay, that's what he's there for. Special Agent Joshua Croft, a computer forensics agent working for Homeland Security. Okay, that's where you come in. Homeland Security guy is being questioned by prosecutor Emily Johnson. Croft explains the tools he used to extract text and other data from devices. Okay, how you did it, I don't care. He says he examined 3 devices, 2 MacBook Pros, 1 MacBook Air, all belonging to Cassie, adding that each had their own unique challenges. Okay. He describes one as being set to factory default. Another is having user profile Frank Black and guest profile. So Diddy was able to log into that. Another that appeared to be damaged that would not power on. So this first one scares me. You know why this first one scares me, people? Because he's saying all belonging to Cassie, adding that each had their own unique challenges. So you mean to tell me a factory reset is a challenge? That scares me. Not have nothing to do with this fucking trial. When I go upgrade my cell phone, what do we do before we walk out the store? We make sure that we factory reset it so nobody at the store can go into the back and get on my phone and get anything out of my private shit. People do billion-dollar deals out of their phones these days, sign contracts on their phones, pay bills on their phones, have passwords on their phones, all types of shit connected to their phones. You trying to tell me that this laptop was factory reset, but Homeland Security still has a way to just turn that into a challenge? Careful with y'all shit, people. I'll tell y'all this. I probably still have at least 4 of my last cell phones. I even posted on my Instagram one of my Nextel chirps. People like, damn, you got that throwback? I kept it. I don't know why I kept it. I don't know what's in the phone book or nothing crazy, but see shit like this, man. And I know when you upgrade and you turn in your phone, not everybody can afford or wants to spend the money of a brand new phone because these phones be thousands of dollars these days. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man. I ain't trading in no more phones. I ain't trading in no more phones. I don't give a fuck about a factory reset. When I'm ready to buy a new phone, I'm going to go there. I'm going to get my new phone, transfer the number for me. I know how to use the app to go from phone to phone as far as your data and all the apps and everything you install this shit. I know how to use that. Y'all can't I don't need the $500, the $300, $400 off. I'm cool. I'm keeping my phone. Factory reset is a challenge. The fuck? You see this shit? You see this shit, Philly? Nigga, Philly say he always keep his phones. The fuck? Factory reset is a challenge. Computer forensics expert John Crow. All right. What's on the MacBooks, man? Tell me. All right. Croft is asked whether witness or suspects would be asked for consent. And he said yes. Confirms Cassie gave her consent for them to be searched. Okay, yeah. You know, warrant, right? Or consent. So cross-examination comes to an end, and there is a brief redirection from the prosecution who asks about the computer with the profile named Frank Black. He's asked, when you saw Frank Black, did you continue? Croft says, no, we did not process that data until later when we got a warrant. Yeah, because it's two people. So you don't have, you got consent from Cassie, but you don't have consent from Diddy or Frank Black. With that, Croft's question is over. So hold on. So you're not, did anything come about if he found anything crazy on the MacBooks? Or is that coming later? Start so personally explaining the technical details, just saying how you got into these books. All right, court is adjourned. That's it for the day. I gotta look on online or checks and balances. I need to know if there was anything that this Homeland Security agent actually got off the laptops that is important. We don't say anything other than how he got into them or whatever. All right. All right. So we got more topics today, people. Before we move on, how we doing with this trial? Let me come over to the super chats real quick.